Guys, welcome to episode 4 of our Magic podcast. Today we have come up with a name. We're going with Magic Rambles. So we'll see if that sticks. So today we are going to be talking about the reveal on the preview panel at Las Vegas, the Lorwyn set that we are getting in 2026, which is in January. So for those that don't know, this set was supposed to be this year, which really upsets me.
I wish it was this year.
It pushed back for Avatar. So let's just have a moment of silence to mourn Lorwyn. Okay, I think that was enough. So yeah, we are getting it. It's just in January. We could have got it this year, but you know, we needed Avatar for all you Avatar fans out there. So I'm excited for you guys. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to go too much into that tangent. So, Lorwyn has been revealed. Now, what do we know so far? The set is going to be called Lorwyn Eclipsed.
Yeah, Eclipsed. Yeah.
So, just from that alone, what are you thinking? Just the name of the set.
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's making me intrigued of what the Eclipsed part is about. Yeah.
So when you think of eclipse, so an eclipse is like, from what I understand, an eclipse is when the light goes out. When like the whole light.
It changes. Yeah.
When the sun or whatever gets completely covered, so it's just eternal darkness.
Yeah.
From what we know, we're not going to assume that you guys know anything about Lorwyn because this podcast is designed for new players. And if you're a new player like us, you wouldn't really know. Yeah. Lorwyn is such an old set, so you probably don't really have that much knowledge unless you've done what we've done and gone and done a little bit of research.
Yeah.
So we have done a little bit of research. So that's what we want to talk about today, what this set is going to be about, what can we expect to see in this set, what we would like to see in this set, why we're excited. Yeah, just that's it really.
Yeah.
Eclipse. So for me, so we'll start with this. So in Lorwyn, if you don't know, there is Lorwyn and then there is Shadowmoor. So basically, it's like a seasonal change. It's like a natural phenomenon where on this plane, basically, it's like night and day. So like Shadowmoor is kind of like the night, and that's where things get a little bit sinister. So in Lorwyn, the sun never sets. It's always light. It's always bright and happy, and maybe not happy, but like it's more positive. And then Shadowmoor is like the darkness, and that's where
negative forms,
a lot of the biome changes, and then because of that, also everyone's mind gets wiped essentially, which is pretty crazy. So because of that, their personalities are reset. So they're the same. They have the same qualities, but because
the thoughts are like darker. It's like it's the same.
The way I think of it is they become products of their environment because they're still the same. Like they have the same personality traits, but because their environment changes, they change.
Yeah.
Like
and
if
then
that
it's
makes
darker.
sense.
Yeah. Like
because they're in this darker world now.
Yeah.
Some of the races they become a little bit more sinister.
Yeah.
And that's represented in card form by.
It changes the color pairing that they had originally.
Yes. Yeah. So that's really cool. So when I think of Lorwyn Eclipsed, it's still got the name Lorwyn in it. So I do think it's going to have both. And we have seen 2 pieces of art. So the first piece of art was the elf, elf with the little horns and that. That was cool.
And the art doesn't seem very sinister.
No.
So even though it says Eclipsed, which makes me think it will show both, I think it is going to show a lot of just like Lorwyn. It must do.
Yeah.
Because the art that we've seen doesn't seem very sinister to me.
Apart from the second piece. Because in the second piece showed quite literally Lorwyn and Shadowmoor like side by side. So,
yes, yeah.
And if you don't know, like Lorwyn and Shadowmoor, they were their own sets because Magic used to do this thing called like block sets where they would have multiple sets telling one story. So you would stay on one plane for like a while. That's not a thing anymore because they found that their second and third sets wouldn't sell as good as the first, so they just stopped doing it. So, which is, it's unfortunate, but it just means that now we don't get to spend very long on a plane. Like, if they brought block sets for, like, Bloomborough, man, give me 3 sets back-to-back on Bloomborough, let me live there for a year. I'd be so happy.
I'll be so happy with that, yeah.
You know?
I miss Bloomberg.
You can't blame. So do I.
Yeah.
But you can't blame them if it doesn't sell. We have essentially voted with our wallet. So anyway, we're going off on a tangent.
Yeah, we
okay.
are.
So in this set, I believe it's not confirmed necessarily, but it's all but confirmed that the set is going to include both Lorwyn and Shadowmoor parts. Now, if before these were both their own separate sets, that seems to be quite of a challenge, like how they're going to incorporate both.
Yeah.
Does that mean that now every race in the set is going to be like a free color race, similar to like Target Dragonstorm? Instead of factions, we have races. And are we maybe going to see where, I don't know, like instead of the shift, because it has to set at one time period on a Magic set, my assumption is that instead of like it being Lorwyn for a season and then Shadowmoor for a season or whatever, we're gonna see something happen to where maybe day and night just becomes Lorwyn Shadowmoor every day.
Oh,
Which sounds crazy though, because if all their memories get wiped every time that happens, just everyone just no one remembers anything. So that would
it
maybe
just keep
be a bit crazy.
Yeah.
I have no idea how they're gonna do it. It's really interesting. What about you? What are you thinking?
What would the eclipse? What it would mean?
Yeah, well, how do you think they're going to represent both Shadowmoor and Lorwyn?
That's the
in
thing.
the
That's
single
what I'm
set?
struggling to figure out. Like how it would work. Like you said with the eclipse. Like I was thinking the same as you. Like would it going from the day with Lorwyn and
Yeah.
the night with Shadowmoor? But with the memories, how is that going to incorporate? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe there is going to be a bit of craziness going on.
Yeah. So, because like, are you going to be able to choose a creature type and then choose whether you want to play the Shadowmoor variant or the Lorwyn variant? That could be cool.
That is probably what I'm more thinking.
Yeah, but then that means that if they do that, every single creature, and we know that there's, I think, 8 different creature types in Lorwyn. It's quite a lot. It might be more than that. Don't quote me on that though. But it would mean that, let's say they were making commander cards.
That's going to be like.
They would have to make 2 variants of each for each creature type, and I don't think they're going to do that. So my assumption is they're almost going to Shadowmoor and Lorwyn are going to merge together, and maybe Lorwyn Eclipsed is going to be its whole different thing, and then that's when each of the, like, say 2 colors, they will all become, every race will become their Lorwyn and Shadowmoor colors,
And then that's where they get the free.
and then they'll just make a commander legendary creature for each race, and that each one will be a free color.
Yeah. I think that would make more sense.
Apart from the races that don't switch, because like we know the phase, their colors don't change. From a lore standpoint, like the queen of the Fae, she is the one that is like meddling with the Aurora magic, that's causing the shift. So her memories don't switch. So she's the only character that remembers. We'll put the card here, by the way, so you can see it.
Yeah.
But that's the only character that his memory doesn't change when we switch from Lorwyn to Shadowmoor.
Yeah.
So, and as a result, the Fae don't really change. They just stay the same.
Yeah.
But other races do. So we also know that some of the other races are going to be changing. So we're going to see something similar to what we saw in Tarkir Dragonstorm, where as the story progresses, the factions are going to change, their personalities are going to change. A lot of people were complaining that Sultai especially become like quite different after the change, after like Tevil took over, and that they become a bit more like lovey-dovey, whereas before they had like slaves and stuff like that.
And that seems to be happening with the elves.
Yeah. So they've hinted at that in the preview panel. They said that we're going to see the elves in a new light, because I don't know if you guys have read the lore again, but if you haven't, go read it. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
The elves are basically like these they're essentially just wildly racist, and they just want to go and murder anyone that isn't an elf or isn't beautiful. Like, they hate ugliness, and they just think everything that's not an elf is ugly, and they
It's
just want
a
to erase
lot more
ugliness from the
darker
world.
version of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
even more like pretentious, and,
Yeah.
which I thought was really cool. But I feel like with their new direction, they're trying to appeal to as many people as possible. Try I don't I personally believe they're trying to steer everything more towards what is succeeding in other games, i.e. like Pokemon. That's why we're seeing more cutesy art styles and
And
more
Bloomborough did
color.
really well.
And Blimbro did really well. So
That's
I
cutesy,
just
yeah.
think they're trying to steer everything in that direction, and wildly racist elves don't really
mix in with that, yeah.
So I hope that they don't go too far in the other
Yeah.
way. But I reckon there's gonna be some sort of story relevant thing where the elves have this epiphany and they're like, hey, maybe these other races aren't so bad and we should stop murdering them.
Yeah.
But then if the elves have to maintain their black mana, they have to have some element of black mana philosophy within their character. Otherwise, they'll just lose that. So, but maybe they will. Maybe they will see that.
Yeah, that's
if
the
you,
thing.
Because if
I
you don't
think
know,
the colours are going to change.
yeah, and elves were essentially they were actually green black in Lorwyn, and then they switched to green white in Shadowmoor.
Yeah, which is interesting because all the others, it was they gained black. So it was interesting
I think
that
so.
with elves, I wonder why that was.
Well, the goblins were already black. We should go over We should actually go over all the factions. So this is from what we've read, like all the creature types that we're going to see in this set is as follows. Well, Shannon, list out. What can you remember?
The Kifkin.
Kifkin.
And then Flamekin.
So what are the Kifkins?
Kifkin. They kind of remind me of hobbits.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Same.
Yeah, that's what in my brain it comes as. I can't remember officially.
Yeah, they're
what
like
I said, but to me it sounded very much like hobbits because I don't know whether I'm going too far ahead, but they seem to have like a relationship with the tree folk.
Yep. Yeah,
like that.
they love the tree folks. There's a lot of similarities there. They're short.
Yeah.
They can communicate telepathically, which is different. But I thought that was quite cool. So they're like magical hobbits, shall we say? But they're very warrior-esque as well, actually, which is different from hobbits.
Yeah.
Different from hobbits because have like they're like knights and stuff. They're soldiers, and so that's cool. Yeah, battle magic hobbits.
About the fur.
Yes, yeah. Not as obsessed with food. So different.
Black.
So the Kifkins are mainly aligned with white mana because of their like social aspect of their personality. But then I also think they have blue and red in their sort of mix as well. I think they become more blue in Shadowmoor. I think from what I remember. I can't remember if there's. I can't remember if there was black in there as well. I don't know. It's very confusing a little bit because it's not as black and white. I don't think with Lorwyn and Shadowmoor. But so I don't. It's not like Blimborough where the color representation is solid within each creature type. Like every otter is red blue. Every rat is blue black. So on, so on. I think there's a little bit more leeway.
There's a bit more options. So if you want that race, but then you don't want that color pair. Then you can
but the primary color of the Kifkin is definitely white.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, so we got the Kifkin. What else we got?
The other one I like to look off, the Flamekin.
The Flamekin.
I kind of like to look at them a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what creature type is the Flamekin? Do you remember?
It was red, and then was it red black?
No, what creature type are they?
Oh, creature type.
Yeah, do you remember?
Was
Elementals,
Yeah,
I think.
I didn't want to, but I think it's elemental.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Pretty sure it's elemental.
So yeah, we got elementals. Yeah. That's cool.
They look cool.
I mean, I think you just like every race in this play. You're going to be sport for choices.
Yeah, this is going to be my domain for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm excited.
So we got elementals, which are just like what are elementals? Describe them to the audience.
I know of elementals
the
like
Flamekin.
when they were saying that there were two ways that people viewed them. Mm-hmm. One was like a god, right?
Yeah, but I think the Flamekin and the elementals. Flamekin are a variant of the elementals. So Flamekin is like
But they're not like the elementals.
No, the elementals are the way I think the elementals are like the clammy beasts, like the big things that are on the plane.
Yeah.
But I think the flamekin itself are like these like fire embodiments.
Yeah.
Like they're
just very like volcanic looking. And
like
just,
fire
they just
spirits.
look like they're always on fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fire gets like snuffed out a little bit in Shadow or something.
Do
that
they?
happens to them.
I can't remember.
I think
if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it was they said something about with the elves as well.
They definitely become more evil.
Elves. Yeah, because I think they had a run with the elves.
Do they?
And that's how they became evil or something.
No, they were burning the trees. No, they were burning trees.
Oh.
They didn't like the trees. So I think they pissed off the Kifkin and the trees because they would like started burning trees.
Oh.
I don't really know. They hate the trees.
Which is funny because I love the trees, but yeah, I'm like, oh, it's Kifkin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's literally a card of like a tree folk burning alive on the card.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
really funny. Okay, so crazy fire people. What else we got?
Yeah, and then we have, so we said Kifkin, Flamekin, and then we have Merfolk. And then there's Selkie
Merfolk
as
coming
well.
back. Yeah.
And there's Selkie as well.
Yeah, I think the Selkie were like a variant of the Merfolks.
Yeah. I'm hoping they explore more into that.
Yeah.
I read a book recently where there was like a Selkie character.
Oh, really?
And I didn't even know what a Selkie was until I read that.
Now you do.
And then now I'm seeing it again, so I'm like, oh.
And all these things are based on like a lot of like British folklore, because the whole plan is, I don't know how you would say it, like Celtic lore.
I think it's Celtic, yeah.
Yeah. So it's the whole plane is based on that. So like a lot of the biomes you're going to see as well. I'm going off on another tangent, but like a lot of the biomes you're going to see is like very much like, English countryside sort of,
which I'm excited
Irish,
for,
Welsh landscapes, like very, very cool. And if you haven't told from our accent, if you don't know, we're from the United Kingdom, so that's another reason why we are super excited for Lorwyn. Okay. What else? So what did we just say? What race were we talking about?
So that was Selkie and Merfolk.
Oh, also I want to point out as well, the Merfolk in this set, like they look quite different. Compared to like Ixalan's Merfolk.
Completely different.
Yeah, and they've different colour alignment as well because they are not just so in Ixalan they're Simic, they're green, blue,
yeah.
But in Lorwyn they have some white in there as well.
Yeah.
They're like blue white, which is interesting. So, yeah. Okay. Cool.
And then they had elves, which we spoke a bit about.
Yeah. Got the elves.
Elves are cool. And then I'm sure there was more.
You got the tree folk.
Oh yeah, tree folk. Yep.
Yeah. Got the fairies.
Fairies as well.
Goblins.
Yeah.
And giants. Yeah. We got loads. This is a very
it's a lot to keep track of. Yeah, it's a lot to keep track of. Oh, and then there's shapeshifters.
Oh yeah, changelings. Yeah. So there is so many. Very, very exciting. The last creature type set we had was Blumbro. So to get another one so soon is really, really cool.
And I like playing creature types a lot.
Yeah, I mean everyone loves creature type decks. The decks are easier to build. And it's just, they feel very flavorful, fun, and okay, so that's the sort of thing that's from what we can pull up, that's our kind of speculation of what we're gonna sort of see. That's at least confirmed. But yeah, so I'm thinking as well, because Lorwyn was created, that set I think is like 20 years old. It's old.
Jesus,
it's very old. Yeah. So obviously Magic was very different back then. So now everything's changed. Now Commander is at the forefront. So we're going to be seeing everything. And you'll see that from the cards. Well, the art is very, very old. Not bad. It's just, you can tell that it's really old. So we're going to see all of these sort of races and stuff represented in all this lovely new modern art.
Yeah,
they're going to be getting all of the crazy treatments. Like, it's going to be super exciting. Yeah. I think we're going to see a legendary creature for every race that we've just pointed out.
And
at least
elf,
one.
Creature looks stunning. I really like the look of it. because that
Yeah.
is my art, like Bloomberg. Yeah, that's very much the art
We'll
style
put up
that
the
I
art,
really like.
what she's talking about
Yeah.
here. So we've only got 2 official art pieces. We've got that, what she's talking about, the elf one, and then we've got the landscape one of the Lorwyn Shadowmoor half and half sort of vibe, which was beautiful, by the way. Hope they make that playmat. That'd be cool. So yeah, I think we won't see multiple. It'll be like Blimbro, right? In Blimbro we got one, I believe, one legendary creature for each race. That was it. There was certain races that got 2, like rats got 2.
Did the frogs get 2?
The frogs did get 2 actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You are right.
Yeah.
Oh, rabbits got 2. Oh, maybe.
Oh, no,
Wait,
there was
maybe
2 for each one because there was like a backup.
Did mice get 2? I don't think mice got 2.
Yeah, because I think you can use. I can't remember his name.
I don't think mice got 2, or did they?
I
can't remember the second mice. I don't know.
I think they might have got 2.
Maybe did otters
It might have been
get
2 for
2?
each
I
one.
think some of them had 2, some of them had 1.
Yeah.
So I don't think otters got 2. No, they did. They got Kitsa. They did.
No, they must have got 2 each. I think it was 2.
And they won't necessarily all be 3 colours. So I think so maybe we will see a Shadowmoor Lorwyn variant for each one. We could very well see that. So especially with the amount of legendary creatures that are in sets these days. So I know they are trying to crank down on the amount of legendary creatures because of the increasing Universes Beyond. So they need to make room because Universes Beyond sets have way more legendary creatures in them because all the characters are like unique. So, but we could very well see a legendary creature for 2 of each one. So yeah, that's what I'm going to say. 2 to 1 for each race. Yeah, that's exciting. So Shannon, what are you most excited? What do you want to see? Lorwyn Eclipse. What are you most excited about?
Well, obviously, I'm excited for the Tree Folk. 'Cause I already
Tree
have
Folk.
the Lord of the Rings Treebeard deck.
Yep. Which is Selesnya colours.
Yeah.
So, here's my question to you, Shannon. If they bring out this awesome new tree, because there is a Tree Folk legendary creature for Lorwyn that was actually very, very popular. I think it's called Dorian or something like that. And that is a 3 colour. That is green, white, and black. So, I believe. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's green, white, black.
Yeah.
So,
Sure it is, yeah.
if they create another awesome new Dorian, right? Or some other awesome legendary tree, what are you going to do?
Well, Treebeard is not going to be replaced.
Oh,
He's not.
even if it is popping.
No, and also a problem I keep running into is that it's hard with edits for me because with that, it's not just a Tree Folk deck for me, it's a Lord of the Rings one. I try to keep it Lord of the Rings as much as possible. So you'll show me cards for like edits. I'm like, yeah, it's cool, but I'm trying to not come away from Lord of the Rings too much.
Yeah.
So although it would kind of be a bit of a repeat, I'm open to the idea of having another Treebeard deck.
You have 2 Tree Folk
Another
decks.
Tree Folk deck.
Okay.
So then that way, like, I have more room and space for...
But then would you not have a lot of the same cards in that deck? So would it feel
I would
too
just
samey?
try and differ it. It depends on how much they make. And also, I'm interested in whether they're going to have it... So with Treebeard, it's hobbits and trees. So I wonder if, like, would they do that with the Kifkin? Would they kind of try and fuse... Not as much
maybe.
as hobbits, but...
Maybe. I mean, it would make sense from a flavour standpoint. I think we could see the odd card that work well with Kifkin and trees.
Yeah.
And I also don't think that the Tree Folk are going to be like massive race by themselves. I don't think we're going to get like loads of new trees. So I think there'll just be a few. So, you know, we could well see that.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It really does depend. I'm open. But
I think we're going to see they're going to want to bring back characters that already exist and give them fresh new cards. And because Dorian is such a popular character, I want to... Can we find out his name? Like, is it Dorian? I'm pretty sure it's Dorian. Type in Lorwyn Tree Folk legendary creature or something. Or if you go on Scryfall and go on Lorwyn or something, you'll see it. I'm pretty sure it's Dorian. But they are going to want to bring back like all these legendary creatures that have already been in Lorwyn
Ah,
and give
close.
them
Doran.
Doran the Siege Tower. There it is. Yeah.
Each creature assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power.
Yeah, so all of your big bulky trees just do
That does
even more
sound
damage.
fun.
That's
That's
what I'm
another
saying.
aspect. Like, obviously, I have Selesnya,
Mm-hmm.
whereas this has got black as well.
Yeah.
So that would make the deck a bit more different.
And I think they've changed their design as well. Because like with that card, there's nothing that makes that card black mana aligned. So I would like to see if they do make another Doran, they make it so that he does have something like to do with black mana in there. Because that's it's a bit. Even though it's a cool card, it's not. It's in my opinion, it's not a black card. So yeah. Cool. Okay. So
Fresh
the
in
tree
terms
folks.
Of, yeah, and in terms of like fresh, like new thing that I'm open to build, pretty much all of it. But
All of them. Give me all of them.
if I was to choose like one in particular,
We've got to be realistic. You're not going to have the budget to
Yeah.
build them all. So you got to choose.
if I
What
was to
races
choose
are you
one in
most excited about?
particular, I would.
Or think you would build or like build upon?
I'm thinking elves because I've been thinking about building elves anyways.
Okay. Yeah. This would be a
So
good time
if
for
they
it.
have like a playstyle like I'm really into, elves.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then thinking that's interesting.
So here's my question to you. We talked about your fairies in the podcast episode before, how they weren't your favourite. What if they were to bring out a new fairy, which they're very likely to do, or like whatever her name is, the queen, Aluna, or whatever. Una?
Yeah.
Una.
That's
What?
in my deck
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
So, no, now it comes in the precon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if they make another new Una, is there anything that they could make to make you more likely to play
Change the
it?
color pairing.
Change the color pairing.
Because
Okay.
that's the thing. I love fairies, and I'm hoping.
But I don't think they will
I'm hoping
because
for the
they
fairies
said that they're the only race that don't really
that
change.
don't change.
I think they're always Dimir.
Yeah.
I think they're always blue black.
It's annoying because with the lore, I really like it when they describe the fairies. I like it, but it's just unfortunately I just struggle playing with it. I enjoy. It's like it's not no enjoyment. Like
So do you think you won't really be that interested in any of the new fairy stuff that is coming?
obviously I'll look at it, but I would realistically, I don't think they'll change the color pairing based on what I've heard. And I'll rather put the money into decks that I know are popping off for me and doing something new. So I think realistically, elves. And then I also like the look of the merfolk.
Okay. Awesome. So for me, I literally have no idea. I have no idea. I'm going to wait to see what speaks to me, what inspires me. I'm definitely not like, with any of the races, I'm not like, absolutely, I want to build like it's not like Bloomberg where I'm like, yep, I want to build a rat deck, like, because I just love the idea of playing a deck of rats. Like the races themselves, they all seem very cool in their own little way. But I wouldn't say I'm super aligned with any of them at the moment. I would want to just see what comes out and see a really cool commander and be like, yes, I want to build a commander deck around this guy or gal. So, yeah.
I think
We'll
when
see.
you play with my fairies, it suits you.
I love your fairies.
Yeah,
I love
here's
your
a Dimir
fairy
picture. You
deck.
have the
I got my
Dimir
Dimir
t-shirt.
top on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe I will be building an Una deck, and I'll be slapping my own
I personally
fairies.
think you should, just because like the play style of the fairies, I think you do play it really well because I lend in my deck sometimes. And
Yeah. I
do.
definitely think.
it seems like you're in your element.
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe I'll be whipping out some fairies. I do think that I will build some from Lorwyn just as well because I just love the whole like British theme. And I wanna have a deck around that. I want all my lands to be all like Lorwyn lands, showing me all these beautiful British countryside lands. Like can't wait to see what they come up with. Like it's gonna be beautiful. So yeah, we've got to represent. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't know what's gonna happen.
It's
but
definitely a set that we're gonna be spending a lot in.
yeah,
Yeah.
and we're gonna see some new mechanics as well, because I think as well, like a lot of the, like if you look at the old cards, because they're super old, like a lot of them, they're not great. Like a lot of the mechanics, I don't think have like sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? They're not dated very well. Is that what I'm looking for? I don't really know.
I think so. Yeah.
A bit outdated, I think. So
Yeah.
I think we're going to see some really cool new mechanics. I don't know what they're going to be. No idea. So I'm excited to see what they come up with. I think it will be really, really cool. So yeah, but I have no idea.
I'm just really excited to see what they come up with. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
want to know everything.
What kind of art treatments we're getting?
Yeah.
Like yeah. Serialized cards. What is going to be the Lorwyn serialized card?
Yeah.
No idea.
And the product lineup, like.
Yeah. Well, let's speculate. So, the first headliner card that we ever got was Edgar Markov from Innistrad Remastered, which was a legendary creature. Second, we got Ether Drift, which was a legendary artifact that was also a planeswalker. What was the third set we got? Was it Target Dragonstorm? Was there a
Tarkir?
Universes Beyond set before that?
Tarkir, I think.
Was it Tarkir?
I think so. Because Universes Beyond, what is it?
Maybe it was
this year?
Tarkir.
What is Universes
Yeah, it was
Beyond?
Tarkir.
Been this year? Avatar, Spider-Man,
Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah, so
Yeah, Tarkir, and then Final Fantasy. Yep.
yeah, so for Target Dragonstorm, it was another artifact. So maybe they're not really doing it in the sort of system. We've had two artifacts: Final Fantasy, the Chocobo, creature. So we've had two creatures, two artifacts. Edge of Eternities is an enchantment, the black hole. So yeah, is there anything I've missed out there? Maybe a headliner instant or sorcery. Who knows? That could be cool. But as to what that could be, I have no idea. Maybe a serialized Una or something like that. But I think what I was going to
I feel
say...
like Una is going to play a big part.
Well, they also like to have their serialized cards be as useful to as many people as possible. But then I've realised that's not necessarily the case, because Edgar Markov was a vampire. And the headliner card for Edge of Eternity is black mana. So it doesn't work in every deck. So I don't think that is the case. But
in terms of
who
products,
knows?
I don't think there'll be too many precons for this one, because there's just so many to choose from.
Yeah.
So I feel like they would just do the two precons, and then they would just basically want you to choose from the set
Yeah.
what you want to do.
Yeah.
I think is the most likely, because it would just be too many.
Yeah. So just pick two creature types.
Yeah.
But also, maybe they're quite convinced that it will sell quite well, so they will... Saying that, though, just realised, I don't think that is the case. I don't think the precons will be based on creature types, because Bloomberry wasn't.
Oh, God, yeah.
So I think they will just make, like,
Yeah.
these... What they do with Bloomberry, 4 unique legendary creature characters,
Yeah.
Lorwyn-based, and then just build precons around them. I think that's what we'll see.
Oh, yeah, it could follow Bloomberry's shoes a little bit.
Yeah.
I could see it following Bloomberry's shoes.
So...
I forgot about that, yeah, because even though my precon has a rabbit on the front, it's not a rabbit deck, it's group hug.
No. Yeah. So, yeah, we will see. But we are both very excited for Lorwyn Eclipsed. So, yeah, guys, let us know in the comments below that maybe you know a little bit more about Lorwyn than we do.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want to see? What speculations? I love seeing people's speculations of what they think might be coming. Let us know in the comments below. Let me know if you enjoyed the episode. Yeah. Sharon, you got anything else to say before we round up? No? Yeah. Okay. Right, well, guys, it's been fun, and we will catch you in the next one. Cheers.